Morning, ladies. So today, my voice is really croaky all of a sudden.
Same.
I've just been chatting to Angie. Fine. I start recording and it goes croaky. So good morning to the wonderful Angie Morgan. I'll pass you straight over and she can introduce herself and tell you a little bit about her. Hi, Angie.
Hi, Katie. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's a bit grey, we were just saying in London, so I've got the lights on. Hair's a bit dodged, dog walking T-shirt on, but let's do it.
Let's roll with it.
My name's Angie. I am a mum of 6. I'm a single mum, and my children range from 19 down to 5 months. So bit of a busy household. I've had various work at home businesses. I think, as you know, Katie, being a mum, it just kind of works around the kids and so on. Previously was a nurse. I trained as a nurse in a previous life. But I currently am now a motherhood in business coach. So I work with mums who not only want to thrive in their business, because some of them are quite successful already in their business, but they kind of want to concentrate and hone in on the motherhood aspect and find a better balance. Because I think as mums, we've got so many roles, you know, and we kind of have to juggle many, many hats. And it can all get a bit overwhelming. I know myself, I've been in business before where I've neglected the business. And then at other times I've felt like I've neglected my motherhood. So it is just all about, I say finding the balance, but there's no such thing as that.
I completely agree. I often say that, You can keep looking for this elusive balance. And I think you can get to a stage where you feel much just more in sync with what you're doing. This business, I feel much more that I'm there for the kids a lot more than the last business. I know you know a bit about me and my background. And I got to the stage where I was completely overwhelmed. It's the mum guilt is a real thing.
And it never goes, does it?
It doesn't ever go. And I don't think you can ever get rid of it. And everyone you speak to, so I got friends, that are in more corporate positions, friends that work shifts, friends that are self-employed, and nobody has got rid of that guilt because everyone's got it in one way, shape or form, no matter what. So it's a very, very real thing. And I can I'm glad someone else has said that.
Absolutely. I mean, I worked night shifts before in nursing and nurse training, and sometimes I was pregnant during those times. And I just, all you could think about was getting home. But then again, when you're at home, you kind of yearn for that role again to be in work. You don't just want to be a mum, we're not just mums, we're quite complex.
Definitely. It's never enough for me.
So again, I can totally resonate with that. It's definitely always mum guilt, one thing I can't get rid of is that. I always feel it, but you kind of push through it and progress for sure.
I had a guest house at one stage. And it was, it wasn't wow, it was, and we started it thinking it was going to be this idyllic lifestyle with children. But by the time we got the keys, I was pregnant, but I had 3 stepchildren already. So it was like 4 between us. And we kind of got the keys, and it wasn't a guest house. It was a house that needed complete renovation. And we walked in and just went, oh my God, what the hell have we done? And I was 4 months pregnant, I think. And then it was like, you'd be signed off work because you're back and you're probably not going to carry full term. So you really need to take it easy. Complete house renovation. So it was manic to say the least. And by the time it was all done, a couple of years later, whatever, I was trying to get this balance. Kids were with me constantly, so I felt like I was a kind of full-time mum, but it was like, hi baby, you can just lie on the floor while I do the guest rooms. Hi, I'm talking to you while making the beds and cleaning. It was like baby comes from room to room.
Brilliant.
I guess the 2 of them, so like they were they're 21 months apart, so it's like a toddler and a baby.
A lot of fun.
Room to so much fun. Coming from room to room.
You do one room though, and then by the time you finish, they've got busy in the next.
Our side, the guest side, was pristine. It was always really nice. Our side, oh my God, it was just like, it was like Trampsville at time, you just don't get on top of it. So our side of the house, we used to shut the door and be like, that's that.
We'll deal with that later.
Exactly. But then my mojo and my kind of identity, I really struggled with. I think it was a lot to do with the hormones and the pregnancies as well, being so close together. And I didn't have the best of pregnancies and births. But then you kind of think, oh God, I was just a mum. I felt like, even though I was a guest house owner, because the kids are with me constantly, there was no end. Away from them. So even though that was a work from home position or business, it was just full on in different ways. So I know what you mean.
I feel like I'm running a guest house. Well, I've got 5 kids at home now. One moved out in the summer to go to uni, but because of homeschool, they are at home a lot.
You homeschool as well? Wow.
Yeah, so 3 of them are homeschooled. Well, 4 really with the baby. If you want to the baby, she will be. So that was quite a journey. Again, that's one of the main reasons why I've ended up working from home. Yeah. Doing it my way, really, is because...
Tell us about your story then. What happened? How did you
I was a teenager mum, I think, as we spoke about before. So by age 21, I had 3 kids.
Wow, impressive.
Life happens. Quite a troubled teen. Just kind of went from there. And I just thought everyone does the same thing through life. I didn't do great at school. I had kids instead. So I just thought, okay, you sign up as a mature student, go through college, then you go to uni, then you get a job. Doesn't matter that you've had kids young. That's just what people do in society. Your kids go to school, you get a job. That's how it happens. And all was fine. I trained as a nurse. The older 3 went to standard school. Everything. We were good, but slightly plodding through life. I'm quite a bit of an anarchist, and I don't like plodding through life. But it was what it was. On the outside, I did all right. I turned my teenage years around. And then my second son, a few things happened at the time. Sorry, I'm a bit hoarse, guys. I'm going to have to cough a couple of times. I'm so sorry. I did try not to.
Oh, don't be daft. Cough away.
He wasn't thriving when he went into secondary school. A few complex things with just his personality. I think some people it just doesn't suit them. And I was on the wards at the time, nursing, and I'd get quite a lot of phone calls home. So again, that whole mum guilt thing coming up. I couldn't be in 2 places, and I was pregnant. My relationship was going down the pan, and it was a big wake-up call for me. A few other things in my personal life were going on, and just take a sip of water. Try not to cough at you all. And it was almost like... it was do or die, really. You can either stay here and everyone suffers at home, or you resign and find a way to work from home. So that's what I did. I tried many, many things. I tried a bit of MLM, as everyone does. It's great. I love MLM. It just wasn't for me. Then I opened a clothing brand. So I'm one of those people that I just kind of learn it as I go along. There's no such thing as can't. You can be a one-woman army. You just learn it, Google it, read a book, and run with it. I'm very much all about that. Yep. And a friend at the time, she was going to partner with me. We were going to open this great eco clothing brand, fair trade, kids brand, and so on. And she dropped out at the last minute. She didn't want to put money in and so on. And again, blessings, lessons, and so on. At the time, I thought, shit, what now do I do? And I just run with it. But I do say that if it's not earning you money, it is a hobby. Profit margins weren't great. So again, it was like, okay, what can we do now? So I did some service-based business, some admin, so on, a bit of PA work and that, which was great, but I wasn't really feeling it. I wanted to feel that I was making a difference in other women's lives. And I kind of stumbled into business coaching, motherhood coaching, because I'd give a lot of advice. I don't know if you get the same. A lot of ladies that I speak to, when you're doing certain things, they pick up the skills. Like, oh, can you show me how to do this? How did you find that out? And it just took off from there. And I was kind of giving it away for free, which was great. But was the wake-up call was like, oh, hang on a minute, I love this. It works. I know what I'm doing. And it just took off from there, So
fantastic.
So I'm this crazy homeschooling mum, 3 dogs.
Oh my God.
Working a business from home. With a little baby, which is great. If you'd have told me a year ago, I was really in quite a bad way. I thought, how am I going to make ends meet? I'm single, which isn't the best thing to be when you're pregnant with 5 other kids, but it is what it is, and you make it work. So I'm very much one, you find the solution, and I like to help other people find their solution.
That's so inspirational. You've got so much. You totally didn't even look old enough to have a 19-year-old either. So that's quite impressive. I've got my stepson is 20.
Oh wow,
he's about 6'2", 6 foot.
Oh yeah, Aiden's
big lad, and you could just stare at me going.
Yeah.
Sorry?
They're huge now, these boys.
I know.
They're all,
really,
you know.
I know. And he wasn't tall going through his teens. It was literally in the space of about a year. He just went from kind of here to here.
He woke up
and all of a sudden he was just towering over
feeding him well.
Exactly. Much taller than my husband. And he just seemed to come from nowhere. And he was like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it's quite funny when we go on holiday because you can see people thinking,
oh, brilliant. Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
He's not mine, but I don't get into that. It's easier just to go along with it, obviously. But you just look, there's a big family. So we're a family of 7. So
so you're used to it. We're used to it. And bustle, yeah.
You just get stared at wherever you go, don't you? And I just feel we take over wherever we go.
Oh yeah. Restaurants is always book ahead. Yeah,
it's just horrific. You kind of sit down and everyone stares at you as you walk in the door, and it's just like tumbleweed moment. Everyone looks at you. I'm used to it now.
And cook more food. Always cook extra because you can guarantee there'll be a tag along with one.
Constant. My husband does most of the cooking in our house. He's a fab cook.
Oh, brilliant.
But yeah, there's constant kind of food on the go, constant leftovers ready for someone to pop.
Someone's always hungry. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, the older 3 don't live with us full time. They're only with us half the time. So we never know if we're cooking for kind of 4 of us. My husband sometimes works away, so it could be 3 of us. And then we could have kind of 1 of the kids, 2 of the kids, 3 of the kids. So
you're constantly adapting.
Yeah, I never know what we're kind of doing, from day to day. So yeah, definitely. So you've had quite a journey in the last year then from...
Yeah, it's been very messy, again, when people say, what's your story? It's like, oh, where do I start?
Yeah.
I probably have been babbling at you all because it's almost like learning on the go. But I'm very much an advocate of that you must just keep moving until something clicks or until it works for you, because we're so individual, a lot of people wouldn't want their kids at home, and you say you homeschool, they're like, oh, you must be mad, why aren't they at school? But it's for us, we plan to travel. I want to, world school them and travel the world. So that's in our aspirations.
Awesome.
So again, whatever works for everyone.
Definitely.
But yeah, you just have to keep trying, keep believing that there is a solution for your situation, for sure.
Definitely. I love the fact that you go and find everything out, and I think in this day and age everything is out there. That's not to say that some people don't want that extra support and help, but I'm very much the same. I'm like, do that. Let's go and have a little look.
And then you think, what have I done?
I know.
You learn, you sort of dip and then get out of it again.
Exactly. And I think I love learning. So absolutely, yeah. I love the fact that you can go and find stuff out, and then I'm like, yes, at the end of it, buzzing. I've worked that out. Oh, look what I've just done, and it's nice. I built my website from scratch without any massive. But this one was WordPress, so it was from scratch rather than the last one was is an e-com, so there was a lot more templated. WordPress is templated. It's a bit more complicated.
It is, yeah. I think WordPress in the past.
Not keen. What did you think?
It's just me. It's just I'm quite impatient. Yeah. So again, if I can't grasp it, again, that phrase, if you can't do it, find someone who can. So as much as we're very much women that can, if you can't, you can guarantee there'll always be someone.
Exactly.
So again, there's always a solution.
There is, definitely. And I think the whole outsourcing thing has kind of grown. I was very much set in my ways and no, I can work it out myself.
Yeah.
And it took me years to realize how powerful actually outsourcing can be, and the time it could give me back rather than sitting there and spending hours and hours and hours. It's not to say I couldn't do it. I probably would eventually.
That's it, yeah.
But the hours that it would save me by outsourcing, actually, it's much more worthwhile me working on the stuff,
Absolutely. And again, what we love, kind of hone in on that. And if you really hate something, I mean, numbers are not my thing. Accounts and so on. Just outsource it. As you say, there's so many people out there that can do it for you.
Exactly.
Why waste time? Why waste your precious time and your creative time as well?
And that's something I think that comes as well, isn't it? Over time. I've signed clients in the VA work.
Yeah.
And then it's evolved into something that I'm not as happy doing, and I'm much stricter now in the work that I take on, the clients that I work with, and then if it's evolved with that client and it's something I didn't enjoy, I've just kind of gone, right, take your own kind of medicine here and your own advice and just outsource it to someone else who loves that side of it. So I think you become happier in yourself as time goes on, and what makes you feel happy, and actually that's really important.
It is. And that's part of the journey, isn't it, Katie?
It definitely is.
That you need to move through these blocks to kind of assess where do you thrive, what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths. And again, people that I work with, or mums that I work with, I think sometimes we kid ourselves that we can do it all. In motherhood and business, you know, we can do it all. And we don't need to. It's not even a case of why kill yourself?
Exactly. You don't need to do it. It's so silly, isn't it? I'm ultra competitive, so I'm very much like that. My husband knows I push my buttons, and he'll be like, you'll say things just to wind me up. Oh, if you can't cope with it, I'll do it. And I'm like, I can do it. It's like you said, you can, but you don't have to. You can ask for help. You know, you can.
Yeah, I totally get what you've just said. You've just made me think of a few scenarios. I've tried to micromanage people, and it's like, shush, let them do it. They can do it themselves. And again, with clients, it is that balance between giving the space to find the solutions. Again, I think that's the thing. You know, I'm not here to do things for you. I'm here to help you solve what you need to solve. You know,
it's difficult, isn't it? To get
we need to overcome these challenges, because then we grow. You know, we grow that way.
Definitely, it's forever growing, isn't it? It's forever evolving and changing. I spoke to a client yesterday about what she was going to be offering. And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, it's not set in stone. Just go with what suits and you feel happy with now, and what the person that's asking you for help, what they're looking for help with, you know, just get the balance of what feels right for both of you. Yeah. It can change a million times if you need it to. It can evolve with each client if you want it to. It's not, no two clients are ever going to be kind of, you know, the exact same anyway.
Totally, yeah.
So just let it go with what feels kind of comfortable with you and what that client is looking for. So just get that balance.
I mean, with some women that I work with, some are ready to launch, but others are in business and it's not necessarily doing quite what they want it to do. So again, as you say there, it is a question of taking the individual, and you know, you might have your systems. Personally, I've got a system, you know, I've got, for example, I call it clearing, clarity, creation. So we work through each process to kind of just clear everything out, get clarity either again or on a new business, and then create. But it does depend on the client, what they're looking for, because some people are out there already and they just need to pull away a few aspects that aren't quite doing it for them. And again, the productivity thing, they're doing too much of what they don't need to do and not enough of, you know, those key elements, you know, is it the 80-20 rule and so on, that kind of springs to mind. So very much so, titrate it to the individual. And even myself, you know, as you say, we do adapt and change. We have to kind of pull ourselves in, reassess what's working, what isn't, and just run with it again. Never be afraid to fail. I think that's another big key thing for me. I've failed a lot over the years, but you just get back up again and keep going.
You do, and I think it adds to what you can offer people as well. I believe in helping others. You have needed to have some degree of success, but success is different to everybody anyway. But also the life experience for me, I think, is so much more powerful because you've been there and done it, and you've overcome certain obstacles and got from here to here. To me, that's more important to some degree as well.
Well, absolutely. You know, relationship, you know, we're in the people business, if you like, you know, people buy people gel with people. I think it is a lot of who you are, what you've been through and what you've learnt and implemented in your own life that you can then apply to each person. We've got so much to give. I think everyone's got a story.
I do, and I think it's so important to gel and resonate with that person from the off. And even, you know, with the VA stuff, if I don't gel with that person on that initial call, I'm really, really reluctant to work with them going forward, because you can't.
Little signs,
it's really difficult to build that relationship, I think. Whereas, you know, if you just hit it off and you get on really well to start with, you know, it can go forward.
And that's smart again on your, because, you know, for both parties, because then it saves any issues.
Exactly.
Definitely. I have been bit in the past, kind of along those lines.
It's quite difficult, isn't it? If someone's there waving their money or whatever, saying, you know, I want to sign up.
You just can't help everyone. You can help, you know, or possibly direct them to someone that can.
Yes.
I think there comes a point you realise, okay, I'm not for everyone. Everyone's it's not for me, and that's okay, you know.
And again, that's another huge part of the journey, I think, is finding that niche
and being cool with that. You know, it's
client.
fine. I can't, you know, this isn't right for you, it's not right for me, and everyone go along quite peacefully. Say goodbyes. Yeah, no, it's great.
And I think a couple of clients I've done that to, one in particular I remember speaking to, and she said, I really, really appreciate you being so honest. And we just come out of it feeling, I think, much happier and more positive. I said, I'm not the person for you. And she was like, I don't know how much that means to me, you being honest and saying that from the off.
Yeah. I think, again, right intentions, you know, you've got the right intention there. It's I think if you're coming from the right place, you can't go wrong.
No, exactly. And it shows, you know, your integrity as well, doesn't it? You're not just there at the end of the day to take money. You want to help people, but if it's not the right fit, then it's not going to work going forward. Have you got any apps or tools or systems or websites?
I am quite old school, although last year I have embraced my techiness, if that even makes sense. People used to laugh at me. I'd always paying cash. Always have a notebook and a pen, and I'm a massive list maker. So
me too.
I can't pretend, you know, I've given Trello a go. I've tried. I do use my phone notes, I won't lie, but I am the person pulling out a shit ton of notebooks, and I know what's in what. So people laugh, let them laugh. Write it down is the key for me. Obviously, I've got a planner and journals and diaries. Online, for me, I'd say Facebook. Obviously, utilize Facebook for collaborations, relationships, and so on. It's so obvious, but you know, the platform, I don't even need to explain the platform of Facebook. You know, it's a no-brainer. Really utilize that. Get to know the ins and outs, get in your groups, make true solid relationships, not just like and leave. You know, I'm not talking about all that rubbish. I'm talking about real friendships. I've got a website. Again, I wouldn't be the person to say everyone needs one. I love it personally because I run the Mama Views off it, where I interview mamas, business and motherhood, which I love. But yeah, I'm very, very simple. I use MailChimp, again, very simple. So no big key light bulbs from me, I'm afraid. No, I'm quite simple.
But that, and again, that resonates with people, doesn't it?
Don't overcomplicate it. I'm sure I'll think of loads of little bits and bobs I use after this conversation, but yeah, not really. No, I'm quite
I still love MailChimp because it works for me and my needs absolutely perfectly.
Canva, of course, you know.
Canva's another one. I
love a bit of Canva.
I know, I couldn't live without. I don't actually know what I did before I used Canva. I did use a bit of PicMonkey actually. PicMonkey. I don't use at all anymore. Actually, since
I used to love that. See, that's another thing I ran away with. I used to edit people's photos for them on PicMonkey for free. You know, they'd just send me them and I'd fancy them up. And
just help with
bits and bobs. And
they used to have all the blemish stuff, didn't they? On PicMonkey,
all training me up. That's it. Yeah.
I used to love the white in the teeth one.
Oh, and another one on my phone. So I'm really old. I think it's still on my phone. A beautiful mess.
I still got that on my phone as well.
I used to. People used to say, "How do you do that? How do you get that writing on there?"
That was one of the first kind of apps, wasn't it? That did.
It was.
The kind of photo or the coloured background with the writing over, the overlay thing.
Yeah, so
Canva's really just kind of taken over. But
still on my phone, which says it, doesn't it?
Mine is as well. Honestly, it's still there. I've got a few different like that, but Beautiful Mess I had for years, and I used to do loads of that.
Oh, I love that. I need to revisit that, actually. I'm going to creep over later. Say that again.
Word Swag.
Now that sounds familiar.
That's a really good app.
Not sure. I'll have to check that out. Yeah,
it's a really good, really easy. You can either bring photos in or use a selection of their coloured backgrounds. So like a Beautiful Mess, but
yeah. So again, the process of learning as you go, evolving as you go, as things become more available. It's amazing.
I love Canva. I've loved Canva for ages, but never used to put the app on my phone. I was very much desktop Canva. I'd schedule, but if I ever wanted anything kind of last minute, I'd just have to go to desktop. And a friend was like, "Why haven't you got the Canva app? I don't understand why you haven't got the app." And I was like, "Oh no, I like desktop." And she's like, yeah, but you can have the app, your designs are just magically there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we live, again, it's so cliche, but we do live in an amazing time. And I know everyone says it. I know everyone that works online says it, but we really do.
Oh, it's amazing, yeah.
It's just mind-blowing what is available to us.
Exactly.
Again, tying in the whole homeschool thing, I know it annoys a lot of people when I say it, but I'm scared school's going to become redundant because are they keeping up? Can they keep up? You know,
I know that's another topic entirely, isn't it? But
yeah, we won't even go there. But again, it springs to mind.
I know.
It's leading along, you know.
So much of the we're very much, we'll teach our children now, especially the younger two, you know, a bit about law of attraction. And that type of thing, and it's just not even touched on in school.
No.
You know, the little two now, they're getting quite tech. They come home, my son will go, oh, have you got the MacBook Air? I've been on the Pro all day. Oh, sorry, Ollie. You know, so they're they're quite techy in our school, and they come home and they make movies on iMovie and stuff, which I absolutely adore, and they do a bit of coding. So I'm loving the fact that
that's fab.
They've progressed in that side of things, and they do a lot about growth mindset.
That's good.
And that type of thing. So they have got some.
So they are catching on, and those mean, you know, kids are feral in the woods with a stick and a pair of boots, muddy boots. But yeah, there's time for that.
An awful lot hasn't caught on, and then the older children can be a bit, you know, they're at that age where they're feeling quite pressured, and that, you know, the GCSE results define the rest of their life. And we're like,
I've got a 15-year-old. She's going through her mocks now, so it's you know, big stressful time for her, and there's me like, don't worry, you know, it's fine. She's like, no, but it does matter. And I said, it really doesn't matter, you know. Obviously I want her to do well. I'm not over here like the big hippie at home with the homeschool telling her not to do well, but it's a case of putting it into perspective. Definitely. And again, it's never too late to do what you want to do.
And you get to our age and you realise that, but I think I remember that pressure. The opportunities available now are so much more. You know, when we were in school, I remember the careers advisor, it was literally everybody come out and said, he said a teacher, a nurse, a doctor, a policeman, or like a secretary. And you know, it was literally about 10 jobs that you would just get told you'd be good at based on absolutely nothing. And you know,
wow, so they were labeling you of what they
and it didn't start the proper way. Whereas my stepdaughter went back to A-levels in September for a couple of weeks, and she just wasn't sitting right, and she wasn't particularly happy, and we always just thought she would go down that very traditional route. And my husband said to her, you're not happy? And she's like, no. And he's like, right, I want you to go away and write 10 things that make you happy. And then we're going to base that around, that's where we're going to start. And he was like, winter fashion. Okay, Matt, I don't know if we can actually use the winter fashion one. But she ended up, she was always going to go the animal route, and she loves animals. And we all just thought she'd be a vet or something of that nature. And she's a really good girl, and she was quite structured in that sense. And she's ended up going to college, which she decided she didn't want to stay in the school doing A-level. She wanted to get away and do something a bit different. So she's going to college about half hour down the road, and she's doing media. And it was different to what we all thought she would do, and she's absolutely loving it.
Brilliant.
Let's get the order right. Let's get the happy. What makes you happy, and start from there. So that's what we're trying to teach the children now. You know, it's not all about you know, the academic side of things.
No. We're definitely tapping into it, aren't we? The whole holistic view of the child.
Without a doubt, definitely.
And it's so important because of the pressures. Again, as much as I praise, you know, the internet and what you can do from home and so on, it's a double-edged sword because, you know, particularly social media for the teens and stuff, there's massive pressure.
It's huge, isn't it? I've noticed that on my stepdaughter too.
Bombardment of information. It must be, I can't even imagine, you know. I think I got my first mobile phone at age 18. So again, it's totally foreign to me. As much as I love utilising it, the kids aren't necessarily utilising it. It's just there in their face, and they
it's just norm, isn't it? It's like the whole Instagram thing. You know, it's beautiful, and everyone's like, oh, look at her and the pressure. I mean, I'm a bit more, you know, relaxed with myself at this age.
Yeah,
but for the teenagers, you know, that are looking at, you can completely understand the pressure they feel.
For sure.
When, you know, we had magazines, you know, just 17 and a bit of heat.
Oh yeah, wow. Do you remember that? And
that was
the
it, exactly.
I used to love the horoscope.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly. They were the days.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, that's all we had. And that was probably enough pressure. But I think this, you know, it's difficult to keep on top of, you know, everything these days, you know.
It's just it's just moving so fast again, isn't it? Which is a little bit scary. But it's great again, as long as they're coming from a strong, solid foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be teaching us. Give it a few years. I'm sure they know.
Exactly. Well, some of the tech stuff, I think, you know, the little two already kind of going, oh, Mum, this is what you do. They're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I do this, you know, day in, day out. But thanks for that, missing the 10-year-old and 8-year-old. But yeah, I absolutely adore it. I love it. I love the world that they're grown up in that sense, the opportunities, and that they can, you know, my stepson, he wants to travel, and we're like, do it. Find find a job you can do, or a business you can do around that, and then do it, you know, just go.
Definitely. It's so possible, isn't it, now? No one has to stay in the same town, which is fine if that's what you want to do. Yes. But, you know, if you're coming from a small town, people would work through, again, the school, well, not necessarily uni, get a job, you know, have kids and die there, which sounds very morbid, but it's not the way anymore, you know. Anything is possible, which is just amazing. Slightly overwhelming for kids, in fact, but amazing.
So
yeah.
Well, I think we'll leave it there on anything is possible, Angie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that. I've written that down. I'll add a little graphic now to that. Anything is possible. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thanks for me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katie.
I'm sure we'll collaborate again in the future.
Have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Cheers, Angie. Bye.